in 2014.
How dare he? How dare he? How dare he do that? Asking Israel to go back? Asking Israel to dial it back on its ethnic cleansing campaign? How dare he? The gall, the audacity. I just want to say, the audacity. How fucking dare you? You fucking piece of shit. How dare you? Who the fuck are you? What the fuck are you saying? God, Americans are so fucking cucked. It makes me so mad. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Barack Obama stocked his administration with people who despise him. Well, Barack Obama was a wildly anti-Israel president. Everybody knew it. Well, now he has emerged from his hidey hole to unleash a massive essay on why, in the end, it's probably the Jews' fault what's going on right now. It's not just Joe Biden who's telling this big lie.
No, the real reason why they fucking hate him, other than the fact that he's black, and a lot of Israelis are racist as fuck, I will say it, okay? They are a fascist fucking government. So, of course, you know, look no further than the sterilization campaigns imposed upon Ethiopian Jews, or even the anti-immigration campaigns imposed upon Ethiopian Jews to understand the perspective of the Israeli government towards black people, or even, I don't know, trying to purify its gene pool by offering citizenship to Jews of a certain background. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it any further, okay? And making it more difficult to for immigration from other backgrounds. Anyway, the other fucking reason why Israelis hate, or Zionists hate Bardak No Bummer, is because they were jealous that he got to fucking blow up hospitals and only Israel gets to do that. Just kidding. That's not the reason. I am avoiding the real reason. The real reason is the denuclearization agreement against Iran, which was offering a pathway to normalizing relations against Iran, Israel's greatest villain in the region. Okay? That's it. That was the major reason as to why, instead of glassing Iran like Israel wanted, they created conditions to normalize relations with Iran, and instituted a very difficult to pull off denuclearization agreement, which was probably Obama's signature foreign policy achievement. The reason why they love Donald Trump, on the other hand, in Israel, okay, and he is more popular than Benjamin Netanyahu in perpetuity. Just remember that if you want to understand Israeli politics. Barack Obama gave Israel $40 fucking billion, and they hate him. Donald Trump threw aside the Iran denuclearization agreement and then gave Jerusalem to Israel and instituted the Abraham Accords, which is part of the reason why the conflict accelerated to the point that it accelerated to right now, okay? And they fucking love him. They love his racist ass, okay? They love him. Let's hear what Benny Boy has to say about Obama, though. Obama.
Number one, which is that Israel, if it weren't for America, Israel would just be gloves off murdering people. Barack Obama, of course, does this as well. Now, Barack Obama, I said many, many years ago, is effectively anti-Semitic in his approach to Israel. This has been true since
he gave Israel $40 billion instead of $100 billion. That is anti-Semitism.
Became president. Barack Obama is the only president in American history who tried to deny aid to Israel in the middle. He literally tried to stop the resupply of iron ore in 2014.
How dare he? How dare he? How dare he do that? Asking Israel to go back? Asking Israel to dial it back on its ethnic cleansing campaign? How dare he? The gall, the audacity. I just want to say, the audacity. How fucking dare you? You fucking piece of shit. How dare you? Who the fuck are you? What the fuck are you saying? God, Americans are so fucking cucked. It makes me so mad. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Barack Obama stocked his administration with people who despise him. Most anti-Israel president in my lifetime, bar none, not close. And so it's no shot, which again.
Despised Israel. Like, okay, remember, $40 billion with a B, okay? $40 fucking billion Barack Obama gave to Israel on his way out. Please, brother, what do you want, dude? What do you want? What the fuck do you want? What do you want? That's insane. You're a fucking psycho.
Again, meld with Barack Obama's anti-colonialist.
Yeah, famous Israel haters, okay? Famous Israel haters. Obama approves $225 million in Iron Dome funding. Defense system has intercepted hundreds of rockets fired by Hamas towards residential neighborhoods in the past month. Okay? Obama makes surprise visits to the Jerusalem Western Wall. Obama ended his trip in this morning with a surprise Jerusalem, the Western Wall, before heading to Berlin. Here's a couple things that Obama did that are famously what Israelis consider to be anti-Semitic and bad. Okay? One, being a black guy who people thought was Muslim. Number one. Very important. You have to remember that, okay? Him being black, kind of fucked up, okay? Automatically, I'm going to assume that you're Muslim, and automatically, I'm going to assume you're a hater of Israel. Okay? So that's number one. That's straight up. His middle name is Hussein, okay? Just remember that. Kenyan Muslim man, definitely secretly pro-Hamas. Number two, I believe it was John Kerry that said Israel can be a democratic nation or a Jewish nation and not both. I think that was another reason why Israelis hate his administration, even though John Kerry and also Hillary Rodham Clinton have been major Israel supporters in general. So that's also, silly to say. And then, of course, the Iran denuclearization agreement, which was opening up a pathway to normalizing relations with Iran. Mostly because he's a black guy whose middle name is Hussein.
Worldview, which is really a left-wing worldview left over from the 1960s, the basic idea being that the West and its tentacles are everywhere and must be fought everywhere. There was a shift in how Israel was perceived on the far left. From 1948 to 67, Israel was considered actually an anti-colonial state because it had thrown off the British and had allowed the indigenous people of Judea, namely the Jews, to return to their homeland. And then after the Jews won in 67, the Soviet Union decided.
I mean, I don't know about that, brother. Especially back then, I think that the way that it was sold, the way that Israel was sold to other colonizing forces, including the British, who literally made Israel. Like, what are you talking about? They made you, okay? That is so fucked up. It's so fucked up. It's so fucked up to say this. The British made you, dog. Chill. How dare you? How fucking dare you, dude? They armed the brigades. They armed the Zionist brigades. They trained them. They looked the other way when you did ethnic cleansing campaigns and ethnic displacement campaigns. The fuck do you mean? Sure, there was a period in time when they were like, okay, no more immigration because these Arabs are wilding out. It's so selfish. It's such a fake friend attitude to have. It's so ungrateful to just both shit on the British and also the United Nations, arguably two institutions that have been the most important in the development of the Israeli nation state, and also turning a blind eye to the fucking atrocities that Zionist brigades committed in that effort. Okay? It's crazy. I hate fake friends. Anyway.
I did. That Israel was too pro-Western, and so they ginned up this whole new post-colonialist nonsense where Israel is actually a Western colonial occupier. Which is
I wonder why they would say that. That's so strange. Yeah, where did that come from? Oh, I mean, I don't know. Maybe because, like, we've covered on this broadcast before, Theodore Herzl himself said that as a means to have the support of Western colonial forces in the development of an Israeli state. So, there is that.
Which is an amazing.
Yeah. Also, it is settler colonialism. Like, what the fuck? It just is. Meanwhile, the first Zionists, we are colonizers. Yeah.
amazing switch in time to save 9, but Barack Obama really believes that. That's how he talks about the state of Israel on a routine basis. In fact, in a speech...
Yeah, I mean, it's nuts that Barack Obama didn't sufficiently glaze up Israel is a crazy take. But again, arrogance. It's arrogance. It is a profound amount of expectation. It's so profoundly arrogant to just be like, Obama didn't suck my cock hard enough is an insane fucking take. Okay? The sense of entitlement is alarming.
Speech that he made while he was president, talking about the roots of the state of Israel, he didn't attribute it to Israel's historic presence. He didn't attribute it to, Jewish history or Jewish presence. He attributed it all to the Holocaust, meaning Israel was a colonial state, right? That's Barack Obama's mindset. So he...
Wait, what do you mean? That is like, that's an important part of the formation. It's an important part of the myth making. Israel has to be a Jewish nation state. Otherwise, the Holocaust will happen again, is what I hear from basically every conservative Zionist friend that I have. But also, I mean, I'm almost certain that Ben at a certain point has probably said that as well. It's a very common part of the myth making. Yes, I have friends that are more conservative, especially on the issue of Zionism and Israel. I do. I don't know if you know this, but I have friends of different backgrounds. Yes, I do. And I talk to them, and I try to develop a better understanding of what their positions are, and I try to change their minds. Okay? Holy fuck.
Has said virtually nothing about this entire conflict. And now he puts out a statement. Thoughts on Israel and Gaza, because we needed to hear from him. He was so successful in this arena, was Barack Obama. We need to hear from him. So he throat clears for a couple of paragraphs about how Hamas is bad. Right? It's been 17 days since Hamas launched its horrific attack against Israel, killing over 1,400.
It's not sufficient enough. You have not condemned Hamas hard enough, Obama. You have not done your sufficient Hamas condemnations. I do not like this. I give this a 3 out of 10. Like, who are you? Who the fuck are you? Who are you? Who the fuck do you think you are? You fucking lactating bitch with your nipples protruding from your shit ass brown Henley that you buttoned up all the way to the fucking tippy top. Who the fuck do you think you are? I cannot believe I'm over here ostensibly defending Barack Hussein Obama. I mean, think about that. Think about that. The audacity, the gall of this man to sit there and be like, Barack Obama is a Jew hater. He hates Jews. He's an anti-Semite. He only gave $40 billion to the state of Israel. Only 40. Why not 100? Why not $1 million? Why not $1 million billion? $7 quintillion. You have not sufficiently said Hamas is bad. With my fucking titties protruding out of my goddamn Henley, dude. What the fuck? What the fuck? Like, what do you want? What the fuck do you want? What do you want? You want fucking Obama to, like, execute a Palestinian child on camera? Like, is that what you want? He had more restraint criticizing Kanye for his Hitler nonsense. Exactly. That's how you know that this is not a real fucking a point of condemnation. It's just like he literally was more tempered in his approach to fucking Kanye West and his anti-Semitic nonsense than Barack Obama, dude. Come on. I can't get over his titties in this, by the way. It is fucking ridiculous.
100 Israeli citizens, including defenseless women, children, and the elderly.
I guess Abigail's not the only one with the milkers in the family. Fuck!
As I stated in an earlier...
God damn! Them awoogas, dude. Popping out.
Post, Israel has a right to defend itself. But... Right? And
oh, I can't believe he said but after Israel has a right to defend itself. Yeah. I wonder what that but is. Maybe he's going to say Israel has a right to defend itself, but just do like 30% less genocide so we can at least, like, you know, maintain the position that us in the Western world are actually still very, Hasan, stop, he's going to clip you. Back from the Jewish holiday now. As usual, two things can be true at once. Kanye's moves towards life, faith, and family conservatism are encouraging. His DEFCON 3 posts and Black Hebrew Israelite language are clearly anti-Semitic and disturbing. He has more fucking smoke for Barack Obama.
There's the big but, as we say. But even as we support Israel, we should also be clear that how Israel prosecutes this fight against Hamas matters. In particular, it matters, as Joe Biden has repeatedly emphasized, that Israel's military strategy abides by international law, including those laws that seek to avoid to every extent possible the death or suffering of civilian populations. Upholding those values is important for its own sake, because it is morally just and reflects our belief in the inherent value of everyday life. By the way, if you care...
Yeah, by the way, it's a lie, okay? Americans do not have, like, a value. They do not place inherent value in life. Especially conservative Americans like Ben, obviously, we know that already. But again, like, it is literally what I said. Barack Obama is like, hey, Israel, dial back the ethnic cleansing dial that you have, okay? Because it's getting increasingly more difficult for us to maintain the position that we care about, like a rule-based order that we supposedly care about, while you just keep fucking taking your cock out and slapping us in the fucking face with it. That's it. That's literally it. That is the major reason why Obama is coming out with this fucking mealy-mouthed bullshit. That's it. It makes it... It's literally just like... It's getting really hard, sweaty. Can you please? Can you please not? Can you please do like 30% less ethnic cleansing, please?
Cared about any of this? The first priority is the destruction of Hamas. They're the biggest human rights violators on the planet right now. And yet, I don't see Barack Obama talking about that sort of stuff. By the way, he says that he supports Biden's call for the United...
What do you... Again, not... Hamas is the biggest threat on the planet, dude. Wait, he said Hamas is the biggest human rights violator on the planet. Oh, my God. Wait, what did he say?
Priority is the destruction of Hamas. They're the biggest human rights violators on the planet right now.
It's true. He's right. He's right. They're the biggest human rights violators on the planet. It's true. The biggest. Like, they're not even the biggest human rights violators in Israel. Like, what are you talking about? Like, there's not even the biggest human rights violators in the MENA region. They're not even the biggest human rights violators in Israel, dog. What the fuck are you saying? Hamas doesn't even break the top 10. They don't make the leaderboard. The fuck are you talking about? This is staged. No, what do you mean? He's just fucking, he's just yelling at a camera.
And yet, I don't see Barack Obama talking about that sort of stuff.
Yeah, because that would be a stupid thing to say. It would just be an objectively untrue thing to say. Brother, Hamas operates out of Gaza, and they are literally not even the biggest human rights violators in Gaza right now, okay? Like, please, what are you saying? They are small fry, okay? They're the little leagues of human rights violations. Israel is dominant in that space, okay? Abso-fucking-lutely dominant.
By the way, he says that he supports Biden's call for the United States to support Israel in going after Hamas, dismantling its military capabilities, and facilitating the safe return of hundreds of hostages to their family. But, by the way, that is not the opposing of Hamas. You'll notice. Dismantling Hamas's military capacity, but leaving them in place would be just fine, apparently, with Barack Obama. And again, Israel has to be leveraged. Barack Obama's going to stand there. He's going to tut them. All those Jews. If I don't tell them, if they need to stop, then they're just going to go in there and they're going to be brutal. They're going to be horrible.
I mean, but they are already. What do you mean? Like, the Israeli military is already brutal. What the fuck? He posted this 3 hours ago. I can't lie. That was a pretty good Obama impersonation, which is actually kind of shocking. I am suffering a little bit of whiplash from that. I was not expecting him to be have a better Obama than fucking Steven Crowder, the supposed comedian. You know what I mean? That was a terrible... No, don't act like you did not... Don't act like you expected that from him. I thought Benny Boy has one speed, okay? Which is... like that. For him to have that range... Look, I have to admit it. That's range. That's range, sweaty. That's fucking range, dude. You're wrong.
And then he says, this is an enormously difficult task. War is always tragic. Even the most carefully planned military operations often put civilians at risk. As President Biden noted during his...
Someone link me the Obabe, whatever, the fucking twit longer that he wrote about Israel, please. I need to see what Ben has considered not sufficiently condemning Hamas. because I haven't read it. Okay? But I'm willing to bet he probably gave multiple paragraphs to it. It's been 17 days since Hamas launched its horrific attack against Israel. Okay. As I stated in an earlier post, Israel has a right to defend itself. But even as we support Israel. Okay, so the first 2 paragraphs are directly dedicated. And another article that he wrote, I suspect, was also dedicated to just talking about the atrocities in Israel, right? As I stated in an earlier post, implies that he already wrote about it one more time. But even as we support Israel, it should be clear how Israel prosecutes this fight against Hamas matters. In particular, it matters as President Biden has repeatedly emphasized that Israel's military strategy abides by international law. Pfft, lol. Including those laws that seek to avoid. Bro, this is literally sheltering Israel's war crimes by acting like they don't currently fucking exist. All Americans should be horrified and outraged by the brazen terrorist attacks on Israel and the slaughter of innocent civilians. We grieve for those who died, pray for safe return of those who've been held hostage, and stand squarely alongside our ally Israel as it dismantles Hamas. As we support Israel's right to defend itself against terror. This only got 816 claps. God damn, dude. Obama fucking fell off, dog. Holy shit. Nobody's reading his shit, dude. Everybody was like, too long, didn't read. Lol. 800 claps? Fell off, dude. Another Mountain Dew just won. Is 77% of your daily diet for sugar, Lamau? Pre-diabetes? It's 0 sugar. I drink diet bevs. This is an enormously difficult task. War is always tragic. Still, the world is watching closely. Okay, let's just keep going back to Ben.
Recent visit to Israel. America itself has at times fallen short of our higher values when engaged in war. And in the aftermath of 9/11, the U.S. government wasn't interested in heeding the advice of even our allies when it came to steps we took to protect ourselves against al-Qaeda. Now, after the systematic massacre of Israeli citizens, a massacre that evokes some of the darkest memories of persecution against Jewish people, it's understandable. Many Israelis have demanded their government do whatever it takes to root out Hamas and make sure the attacks never happen again. Still, again, 2 big buts in one.
Bro, what are you saying? Like, this is so even-keeled and could be read as a defense of Israel's war crimes because of a straight-up denial that said war crimes are even existing, when they certainly are there. Like, the notion, the arrogance of fucking being like a former president of the United States of America is telling Israel, a nation that he gave $40 billion of aid to, that like they must restrain themselves at a time when they are literally doing ethnic cleansing and in direct violation of the rule-based neoliberal order, as though they're not already fucking doing the war crimes, okay, is, in my opinion, a defense of Israel's war crimes. To act like, to say Israel has a right to defend itself and say, but they have to follow international rules on war at a time when they're not doing that is a defense of Israel. But he is mad that it's too critical of Israel.
In one piece. Still, the world is watching closely as events in the region unfold. Any military strategy that ignores the human cost could ultimately backfire. Here, and again, there it is, right? There it is. If Israel defends itself, they're just going to be planting the seeds for more anti-Semitic attacks, which means it's really Israel's fault. It's really Israel's fault in the end. If Israel goes in too hard and they take out Hamas, but Hamas has put too many civilians in front of its rockets. Well,
dude, I hate this little baby. Oh my God. Ben has become more annoying to me than in many other instances, where he's just like, he's like a petulant little arrogant baby. Like, he's such a little shit. He's like, I need to do war crimes. Israel has to do ethnic cleansing. Why do you say anything? You can't say anything about Israel doing war crimes. Why? Why? What happened to the fucking facts, not feelings, dude? What's going on? Where are the facts now, bitch? How the fuck is this guy popular in the States? Hello. We are a bunch of fucking pseudo-intellectual dumbasses who love having a nerdy guy tell us our personal biases are actually brilliant. Okay? He literally he embodies the American entitlement, the jingoistic attitude, the chauvinism, the Western chauvinism, while also having zero of the aesthetics of it. He's like the nerdy guy who tells you you're actually smart for having racist opinions. Every dumbass Ameroid idiot wants a nerdy guy to tell them that they're actually smart for being a white supremacist. They're like, oh, hell yeah, brother. I love that. You're so brilliant. Like, imagine the fucking gall to be like, this is not enough. This is not enough. When the State Department, on like the 4th day of Israel's ethnic cleansing campaign in Gaza, the State Department revealed that they sent out an internal memo that barred using the terms de-escalation, ceasefire, and what else? What the fuck was were the other words? Like you were not allowed to say de-escalation, ceasefire, peace, calm. Like, these were words that were barred. Restraint. They could not use the word restraint. What more do you want? You want Joe Biden to go into Gaza and like kick a fucking Palestinian baby in the head or something? Like, what do you want? He's giving you the weapons. That's the thing. Not even Ben. He's not giving Ben the weapons. Ben is an American. But Joe Biden gave Israel the weapons. Like, shut the fuck up. You don't even live in Israel, Ben. What the fuck are you talking about? You live in fucking Florida, you asshole.
Well, all that's going to do is it's going to create more terror against Israel. And then
Ben is Israeli? No, the fuck he's not. What do you mean? He literally grew up a couple blocks down the line, okay, in the area that I live in. What the fuck do you mean? Ben literally grew up in Los Angeles, California, okay, and then spent his entire life railing against the liberal institutions that did not welcome him because he had he didn't have a modicum of talent required to make it in one of the more meritocratic industries, even though not really. It's riddled to the brim with nepotism, which Ben had because his father was also a fucking violinist, and then he just tucked his tail and fucking ran to goddamn Nashville and lived in fucking Florida. Fucking bullshit. He got kicked out of the town as he failed as a fucking screenwriter. He got kicked out of the town. He got ran out. Packed his fucking bags as a failed writer. Oh, fuck, I gotta turn on the goddamn AC. Hold on.
really, who's to blame?
Yeah, and the thing that he has, the accomplishment that he has in Hollywood to his name is literally a $800 box office. An $800 box office fucking movie with Gina Carano.
The Jews, says Barack Obama. Because, again, the Israeli government's decision to cut off food, water, and electricity to a captive civilian population threatens not only to worsen a growing humanitarian crisis, it could further harden Palestinian attitudes for generations. Oh, the vaunted Palestinian attitudes, because as we know, they are extremely pliable right now and have been for 30 years. So much pliability, so much attempt for peace, so many peace-seeking people who don't exist. That's obviously, that's the big priority. The priority after the murder of 1,500 Jews in Israel and the kidnapping of 200 is the pliability of the Palestinian population. By the way, Israel, I gotta say, the Gaza hospitals, where the power is still largely on, it's like Hanukkah over there. It was 1 day of oil that was supposed to last for 1 day, lasted for 8. We're now like,
oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, my God. This is straight up genocide denial, dude. It's a Hanukkah in the Gaza Strip. Bro, we can see with our own two fucking eyes. What are you talking about? Every night. Every fucking night, dog. What a monster. Dude, if the situation is so good, let's airdrop you. You know what I mean? Fucking go ahead. Lead the IDF into Gaza. Come on. Ship his little fucking boss babe to the front of the goddamn line, dude.
18 days into the war, and still, magically, there's still some electricity in northern Gaza. By the way, there's still water in many. Why? Because Israel provided 5 to 10% of all the water in the first place. By the way,
that's insane. That is psychotic. That is literally psychotic. Do you think his knockers make really sweet milk? Yes, condensed milk is what pours out of his fucking little nippies. Yeah, Israel sold the water and graciously gave it back to them, but only 5%. It's nuts. It's nuts that he's saying Israel stopped the flow of water into its concentration camp and then graciously was able to allow one tap, okay? One tap, dude. Thank you. After fucking Joe Brandon yelled at them. And even then, because of the lack of electricity, that pump is not even working, from what I understand.
There's still full power and water in the south of Gaza. The entire purpose of cutting
Not true. Wrong.
off the water and power in the north is to send people to the south so you can do military.
So you can bomb them on the way over there, which they did. They did do that. They said go to the south through the evacuation routes and then bombed said evacuation routes and also kept bombing the southern positions as well after declaring the southern part of Gaza to be safer than the northern part of Gaza. And then when asked about this predicament, an IDF spokesperson last night on CNN quite literally said, we never said we were going to stop bombing South Gaza. We just said it'd be, more safe than North Gaza. So there's no part of Gaza that's safe, okay? And the audacity of the war criminals to fucking go on CNN and be like, well, we said it was safer, not safe, is ridiculous.
Military operations in the north, but Barack Obama knows that. Instead, he's just promoting this lie. And it goes on and on and on and on. Pure Talk recently announced they would alleviate...
Yeah. This genocide denial was brought to you by Pure Talk and also Grand Canyon University. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's so sick. I love putting an ad break in the midst of my fucking genocide revisionism. That's awesome. Thank you.
So much nuance, sewing with what is an essay, an affordable visit. The Jews, of course. He says, finally, in dealing with what is...
I love the idea that Barack Obama is lecturing the Jews too, okay? Like, he's not. He's writing an article about Israel. You're the one who's saying Israel equals Jews. Certainly is not the case.
Extraordinarily complex situation. Again, there's the complexity. There's the, so much nuance, so much because standing in the moral middle allows you to stand with the bad guys while pretending that you're not. He says, in dealing with what's an extraordinarily complex situation where so many are in pain and passions are understandably running high, all of us need to do our best to put our best values rather than our worst fears on displays. That means actively opposing anti-Semitism in all of its forms everywhere. It means rejecting efforts to minimize the terrible tragedy the Israeli people have just endured.
Yes, he keeps saying Jews instead of Israelis purposely. YouTube allows that anti-Semitism to remain up, by the way. Of course YouTube allows that to remain up. It's just, it is anti-Semitic. It is anti-Semitic to say that Israel represents the interests of all Jews, okay? Straight up. And you know it's anti-Semitic because Nazis fucking say it. And when Nazis say it, it's anti-Semitic. You know who else also says it? ADL, when they do the inverse of that, where they say anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. Okay? Ben can get away with saying that, and Nazis understandably cannot, and they shouldn't, and neither should Ben, in my opinion. It's ridiculous. When we criticize Saudi Arabia for doing a blockade in Yemen, okay, no one will turn around and say, wow, dude, Islamophobic much? But when you criticize Israel, all of a sudden, wow, you're fucking shitting on Jews. You're shitting on all the Jews. Meanwhile, American Jews at Jewish Voice for Peace, for example, and if not now, are leading the cause against the Israeli apartheid state. But of course, Ben thinks those are bad Jews, which is, of course, anti-Semitic in and of itself. Which, by the way, speaking of being a bad Jew, which is a hilarious thing for Ben to say, because he has defended anti-Semites over and over again, including Ann Coulter, when they've said incredibly anti-Semitic things because they defend the state of Israel. Ben, quite literally, also is anti-abortion. Wearing a yarmulke while also maintaining the position that you are anti-abortion is an unserious position to have. It is inconsistent with Judaism. It's ridiculous. It makes no fucking sense. How can you literally be anti-abortion while also maintaining the position that you understand Judaism better than everybody else? Well, of course, he doesn't have to understand Judaism better than anybody else. He knows what the Torah says. The problem is his audience doesn't. Okay? His audience doesn't. His audience doesn't care. His audience half the time are fucking anti-Semitic themselves. They're evangelical Zionists who are anti-Semitic. but at least have like a conditional allegiance with Jewish people as long as the nation state of Israel exists, so that, you know, Jesus Christ can come back to earth and the second coming can happen, and then all of the diabetic evangelicals can be sucked into the fucking heavens in the rapture. And then, of course, Jews that don't convert to evangelical Christianity will, you know, burn in eternal hellfire alongside everybody else, like the Muslims and the non-believers in general. But, like, you know, that's besides the point. That's besides the point. Okay? But, again, he is a straight-up rabid attack dog for the American evangelical Zionist movement, but more so the American Christian fascist movement. He does not represent Judaism. He does not represent Jews. And most, unless they are very conservative, but most Jews do not look to Ben Shapiro and think, yeah, this is my guy. Ridiculous. I think he would just say that abortion is logically awful, so he doesn't need to mention his religion. Yeah, except there is no fucking logical, anti-abortion argument. It still bases itself in the Christian notion that life begins at conception, and Ben sneakily tries to fucking hide that reality by saying it's actually logical. My opinion is scientific. My opinion is scientific. Life begins at conception. That's not science. Shut the fuck up. The only reason why Ben has swapped his argument to a logical scientific one on his anti-abortion slant is because he recognizes, like many in the anti-abortion movement in America, that the religious argument, the religious justifications, while they still remain, are not all that popular. You cannot actually make a religious argument against abortion and hope that it sticks with a broader population. Even the religious one doesn't stick with a broader population. Let's be fucking real. That's why abortion is unpopular. Anti-abortion, I mean.
Notice the Israeli people, not the Jewish people, the Israeli people, as well as the morally bankrupt suggestion that any cause can somehow justify the deliberate slaughter of innocent people. It means rejecting anti-Muslim, anti-Arab, or anti-Palestinian sentiment. It means refusing to lump all Palestinians with Hamas or other terrorist groups. It means guarding against dehumanizing language toward the people of Gaza. Okay, how about this? How about none of this has been dehumanizing? Civilians in Gaza are still civilians, and it's Hamas's fault they're in the way. Quote, it means acknowledging the Palestinians have also lived in disputed territories for generations, that many of them were not only displaced when Israel was formed, but continue to be forcibly displaced by a settler movement that too often has received tacit or explicit support from the Israeli...
Yeah, the irony is that, like, in every single state in America, the abortion restrictions are literally up to Jewish code. In Jewish law, a fetus upgrades the economy class status of a full person only at birth. It is also permitted when pregnancy endangers the woman's life to even the most orthodox of the orthodox, and endanger is up to you, which is hilarious because that endangerment procedure, that endangerment is literally the justification for abortion up to the third trimester. Okay? Physical or psychological endangerment to the carrier. No, endanger doesn't mean I got fat. Shut the fuck up, okay? Ridiculous. Don't even get me started on the fucking bullshit-ass talking points. Oh, my God. What's your BMI law? Dude, I don't fucking know. Why are you asking me that? Why are you asking me that, huh? Is there a fucking reason? Sorry, is there a particular fucking reason why you're asking that? You see that? It's almost a styration, like, right there.
There it is. It's the two states, all the settlers, all the usual reasons why Palestinian desire for Israeli extermination is totally fine. It's because somebody built a bathroom in a fraud. That's really the problem.
The Palestinian desire for Israeli extermination is pure projection. Once again, pure projection. It is at the heart of this. It is at the heart of this argument that, like, if Israel puts down its arms, it will cease to exist. If Palestinians put down their arms, there will be peace, which is not true at all, because Palestinians have no fucking arms in the West Bank, and yet they are living under an apartheid regime. So shut the fuck up. Anyway, so stupid. It's so dumb. It's so stupid.
That Palestinian leaders who've been willing to make concessions for a two-state solution have too often had too little to show for their efforts. Who are these Palestinian leaders who've been super willing to make concessions for a two-state solution? Who are they? Name
every single one. But Yasser Arafat. The idea that Palestinians in general were not susceptible to a two-state solution is a lie. It's a lie. Well, they're dead, but I think even even the new charter of Hamas, the new charter of Hamas also says that peaceful coexistence, as long as as long as Israel allows it to be. Like even the new charter of Hamas in 2017 also changed its attitude. Would have to be 3 states the way they've isolated Gaza. Two-state solution is better than a no-state solution that Israel wants. I mean, two-state solution is a lie that Israel has maintained in an effort to, you know, take up more land. Ben is a total antithesis of Hasan. Is tripping me out a little bit. Yeah, Ben's fucking ad breaks aren't even that good in the middle of engaging in genocide denial. It's crazy how even my brother, who I see is smarter than me, can't understand Ben Francis, an Orthodox Jew, while being a mouthpiece for evangelical Christians. I hope disrespecting everything he grew up with for a bag is worth it. Yeah, I think he only cares about like the conservatism of Orthodox Judaism and nothing else, really. From the latest charter, Hamas affirms that its conflict is with the Zionist project and not with Jews because of their religion. Hamas does not wage a struggle against the Jews because they are Jewish, but wages a struggle against Zionists who occupy Palestine. Yet it is the Zionists who constantly identify Judaism and the Jews with their own colonial project and illegal entity.
Name them. Seriously, name them. I'd like to hear. Full list. Go. Oh, you don't have any? Oh, there's a shock. And that it is possible for people of goodwill to champion Palestinian rights and oppose certain Israeli government policies in the West Bank and Gaza without being anti-Semitic. Nobody even made the accusation that you have to agree with everything Israel does. But you do have to look at reality in the face. Reality in the face. The Palestinian Authority seeks the destruction of Israel. They're not shy about this. They lie to the West, and then in Arabic, they say what they...
Wait, Palestinian Authority seeks the destruction of Israel? Your BMI is 29.8. Dude, gives a fuck, bro. See, this is it. Okay, this is it. This is his point. He's being honest. Even the Palestinian Authority actually wants the destruction of Israel. Every Palestinian wants the destruction of Israel secretly. Even ones that are literally working with Israel. The continuation of this logical argument, of course, from Ben, which is devoid of facts entirely and all about his fucking racist ass feelings, would also imply that Palestinians living in Israel, Palestinians with Israeli citizenship, also want the destruction of Israel and ultimately must be purged from the lands because he is a fucking piece of shit. He is a racist fucking asshole. Like, it's also so entirely and utterly devoid of facts. It blows my fucking mind. Yeah, dude, the Palestinian Authority that actually facilitates raids on Jenin, on the Palestinian Jenin brigades, alongside the Israeli occupying force, the Palestinian Authority that operates as a part of the Israeli security apparatus that routinely hands off teenagers who threw rocks at the fucking occupying force. Those guys are actually also participating in the destruction of the Israeli state.
They actually think, which is solidarity with Hamas. Palestinian Islamic Jihad is a terror group. Hamas is a terror group. I don't understand. Well, I mean, I do. I know exactly what's going on here. You got to promote the lie. And then, of course, he refers to Thomas Friedman and Ben Rhodes and all the people who agree with him on the super moral complexity of the situation, which really amounts to Israel is to blame.
It's crazy to me that, like, fucking he's shitting on Thomas Friedman, who is
Are you tired of the lie?
Thomas Friedman is, like, literally